It's now known that most of the seasons of American Horror Story are connected, but there's one subtle but brilliant parallel between two seasons through the same actress that changes one of Murder House's most underrated characters. The success of Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk's American Horror Story has led it to expand to 12 seasons, each one of them covering a different horror theme with new characters but a recurrent cast. Season 8 of American Horror Story, Apocalypse, confirmed there's a connection between many, if not all, of the show's seasons, but there are other subtle parallels between some seasons and characters. Ryan Murphy has built his list of frequent collaborators, of which many have appeared in more than one season of American Horror Story, but their characters are unrelated. However, across more than 10 seasons, there have been various details, references, and parallels between characters from different seasons that could hint at some hidden stories, connections, and talents between them. Such is the case for Jamie Brewer's first two characters in American Horror Story, who might have one important thing in common. One Murder House and Coven Jamie Brewer parallel could point to Adelaide being a witch. Adelaide might have had some extra powers in Murder House. American Horror Story Coven Nan. American Horror Story begins with Murder House, set in a house haunted by the people who were brutally murdered there. When the Harmons move into the title house, they are welcomed by their intrusive neighbor Constance Langdon, Jessica Langer, who gives them incense to welcome them to the neighborhood. Constance tells Vivian Harmon, Connie Britton, that her daughter, Adelaide Brewer, who loves to sneak into the house, wanted to bake her a pie, but she tends to spit in the cooking. Later on in Murder House, Constance asks Addie to spit into the batter of the cupcakes with ipecac syrup she was making for Violet, Tysa Farmiga. Brewer returned to American Horror Story in Season 3, Coven, where she played Nan, a witch at Miss Robichaud's Academy for Exceptional Young Ladies. Nan's prominent ability is clairvoyance, and she develops a crush on the next-door neighbor, Luke, for whom she bakes a cake. Nan and Luke end up becoming very close, and her abilities, the cake, and the above-mentioned habit of Adelaide have made way for the belief that Adelaide could have been a witch, via Reddit, as witches spit on people's food and or drinks to put them into spells or under their control. In Coven, Fiona Good, Langer, actually spits on the water she offers the detectives who arrive at the academy to ask about the death of the frat boys, through which she makes them hand over their evidence and forget about their visit. Constance might have been aware that Adelaide was a witch and kept her from casting anything on the Harmons before she could get the information she needed about them. How Adelaide being a witch changes her Murder House story. Adelaide had a tough story in Murder House. American Horror Story Murder House Adelaide. Adelaide was the only surviving child of Constance, and her mother made her believe she was an ugly monster and wasn't fit to be seen in public. Because of this, Adelaide would dream of being a normal and beautiful girl, even asking Constance to let her dress like one for Halloween. Adelaide being a witch could have given her more freedom and self-confidence, knowing that she didn't have to depend on her mother and that she had many other traits that made her special. However, this is supposing that Adelaide was aware that she was a witch, as it's possible that Constance would have kept that from her. Adelaide is the only one of Constance's children to not be trapped in the murder house as she died outside, while Nan was taken by Papa Legba after being sacrificed by Marie Laveau, Angela Bassett, and Fiona. Being a witch might have given Adelaide a different and better fate in the afterlife, a lot more peaceful than being a ghost in the murder house.